Horimiya is such a blast. This was without a doubt one of the funniest turn of events I have seen in a romantic comedy anime. When you introduce a very clingy, very stalkery style character after your boyfriend gets a new makeover and all the ladies are attaching themselves on him. It's only natural that you have this younger crush who's saying, you don't deserve someone like Miyamura. I deserve him. And in hindsight, you can go back and rewatch these scenes and see it for what they truly are. But when you're initially seeing it for the first time, this character Sawada, you assume is in love and is obsessed with Miyamura. And when the punchline comes that, in fact, the reason that she's stalking him is because she's trying to make him break up with her, not so that she can swoop in, but so she can swoop in on Hori herself. I love it. Already, it was innocent because she was honestly just a younger, naive girl. There was nothing like super yandere stalker vibes with her. She was just honestly way too obsessive. But to have that comedic twist that it was actually reversed on who she had a crush with, that makes it so much more memorable. It honestly feels like every episode I see something in an episode of Horimiya that I say, oh, I've seen that done before, but based on how the characters act, I'm sure it will be something fairly memorable. And it almost feels like they're saying to authors out there who write romantic comedy, mangas, light novels, anime, whatever it is, saying, hey, yeah, you know those cliche things that we see time and time again? My characters aren't going to involve themselves with that. We're going to flip it on its head. Absolutely hilarious antics, and seriously, once again, progressing the relationship between these two pretty damn well, I have to say. I mean, I love the father in this anime, without a doubt my favorite character in this show. It's hard to say exactly how much his family truly likes him, because as funny as it is, there definitely does seem to be a wedge and some distance between him and even who appears to be his wife. Doesn't sleep in the same room, but then again, they might have a very different style relationship than most out there due to the fact that his job keeps him away from home. They may not have that romantically strong of attraction anymore. Maybe it's more emotional just to keep the family together. Hard to say, but I mean, in a comedic sense, you do get to see, the two best buddies sleep together and I guess bathe together. And seriously, that's another moment. Who would have thought that you wouldn't see that happen? Generally, when anime talk about bath scenes, you see the characters in the bath for fan service, whether it's for the male characters, the female characters. Doesn't matter. Anime loves to do it. Here, you just get funny moments because you get this kind of side remark because our boy's covered in tattoos, and in Japan, generally tattoos are associated with the Yakuza, and to get that just simple remark is very, very funny. I think just the level of humor and how we're continuing to find new ways to make it funnier and funnier by having characters like the father come home, and you have someone like Hori who very much probably does care about the father, but doesn't have the most natural of relationships with him. I love the idea that they're watching this horror movie where a daughter kills the father in a very brutal way, grabs chairs, bashes it across his head. He's making jokes like, oh, do we really have to watch this? I feel like I'm getting hints of what could happen. Miyamura, being Miyamura, saying you're reading too into it, but by the end of that scene, she's saying, let's reenact this, and I personally relate to it. She's not actually going to do it, but that's the type of humor that I love, is that it feels like a group of characters who truly understand the other, who can poke fun at the other, and rather than just going sappy and cliche like, oh, you're never home, daddy, and I'm always sad. Sure, you can have an episode and a moment like that, but to have most of it be like, hey, you know what? You kind of annoy me, dad. I'm gonna reenact this movie. Not literally, but let's just make a joke because for me it's actually kind of funny seeing you squirm. Or how she just steps on him when she's opening up the curtains in the morning. There's so many just really heartfelt moments that are either sweet, either kind of sad but they become funny, or just pure funny and adorable. And I love that, and I love seeing the two just continue to grow their bonds, and the fact that they have this struggle where, after leaving the home after spending the night, because the parents are saying, see you later, because you have to say that so they know that you'll see them later. It's a really sweet moment to show the family dynamics kind of brewing. But then to see the classmates saying, because from their perspective, Miyamura is this very emo, very just losery character. It's weird enough that she's hanging out with him. Everyone's saying I'm better, and, they're just making a lot of shitty jabs, which is high school fashion in a nutshell. Our boy, who is believing what she's saying, hey, it doesn't bother me, goes out of his way to cut his hair and to just kind of blend in with normal society, not hiding his piercings anymore, he's still hiding his tattoos because, if his best friend father is freaking out about the tattoos the way he did, you know damn well the school will do even worse because they're not best friends with him. I mean, eventually I wouldn't be surprised if he does show his tattoos and just doesn't care anymore, but it's a more natural progression to say, I have piercings and not drop the tattoos right away. And then just the kind of casual, like, how fake everyone is in this school. They talk shit behind your back when you have, you know, your emo look, and then as soon as you kind of have that pretty boy look, they're all over you, they're fawning over you, and then the jealousy angle and the kind of pain angle is kind of reversed. But I like how they don't, like, go the typical where, okay, now that Miyamura's getting all the attention, he's very much like, oh, this is kind of nice, and then someone like Hori has to explain why, you know, it was kind of hard for me as is, and now we have to deal with this, you know, you're being a playboy. But no, he's like literally has no interest in any of these characters. And I think it was a great way to introduce this new character because you assume she's just one of the other fangirls. He didn't cut his hair before, so now she has this crush on him. Some great development, some great build-up, and it just makes it feel wholesome, hilarious, a little frightening at times. Old best friend, it's hard to say if they're still best friends, but I feel like they are, and how he has like leftover candy that he won. It's all the shitty candy. And he's just like, what happened to my Miyamura? Just, I love it. It's so sweet. It's so precious. It's so innocent. And the fact that our boy can sneak a kiss just so he can taste the candy is very interesting because that's like the only move he made until like the end of the episode when he was going to make a move after her request and Daddy had to walk in. Am I interrupting? Yeah, absolutely. You're a third wheel. Just get out of here. The jokes are so strong, they're elegant, but they even have some like heartwarming moments, like the fact that you could maybe argue it happened in a fast-paced manner, but I think it naturally works in the way it did, because the idea that, you know, the only cliche thing I could truly point out in this episode is that it just so happens that Stalker lives right beside Miyamura. That's anime fashion, we see a lot. But I don't find that to be an issue because you get scenes where she gets locked out of her house. Sure, seen that before. But the idea that she's building up this sob story about her brother that ended up dead, and she's like, just kidding. Immediately, even before the mother confirmed it, I was like, she's lying because she obviously sees her big brother in someone like Miyamura. Once again, we've seen that before. The difference is he's a naturally good guy, he cares for people, and I'm very interested to see what the relationship will look like because I feel like we're building up something very similar to that of, you could say, even Toru, where he had a crush on Hori, and he gave it up because his bro, Miyamura, is in love with her and he didn't want to get in the way. I feel like we're about to build up something similar. Maybe not quite as fast, but the idea that she has a crush on Hori, and she's going to see that they're really great together, and he treats me like I'm his little sister, and she'll probably not be as intrusive as she started out in this episode. It feels like that's the direction these characters go, and when drama's there, it's not there just for a quick slapstick reason. It's there for a reason, and we overcome it for a reason. Incredible episode. It just feels like we're getting better every single week, and by knowing the characters more and more, these hilarious or drama-filled interactions feel more meaningful than that of when we started out the anime. And it already started out quite exceptional. Loving the new look, loving the relationship and how it's progressing, and I'm loving the interactions with new and old characters alike. This is an incredible anime, and I'm so excited for more. It's actually a 13-episode season, so we actually get 7 more episodes, which is amazing. Let me know your thoughts and feelings down below, your favorite moment, and where do you think it might go with next week's episode. If you enjoyed the video, leave a like, share your support, and hit that subscribe button if you happen to be new around here. So until next time, everyone, please take care and have a good one.